Hello?
What's your name?
Kelly.
Kelly what?
Kelly-Jayne Collinge.
When I got into like cycling, riding bikes itself, I just thought it was amazing because I'd just not been exposed to sport at all growing up. I definitely asked if I could take part in some of the things, and it was always, it's too dangerous, or no, stay on the beach with your mum while we go and do this with the boys. Like I was very, this is what women do, this is what the boys do, and and that was always frustrating for me. So being a woman getting into cycling, like being in those spaces, it was really intimidating because they were very heavily male dominated, and you just didn't see other women out there doing it too. Having Atlas and now going back into cycling as a mum, again, there was little representation of other mums out there like doing that, like riding with their kids, or how they navigated being a mum and making cycling work around that lifestyle.
I'm just really impressed by how, like, authentically she lives her life and how true to herself she is.
She's always got this view on life that just makes sense. I don't know how to describe her, really. I started riding 8 years ago. Sort of been to races with Aiken and watched him race, but never really ever thought about sitting on a bike myself. Like I never saw myself as a mountain biker.
I knew it was coming. You know it's coming.
I remember going to one race in particular, and there all of a sudden being some women there, and I hadn't seen any women in any of the races before. Yeah, that was like this beginning of, oh, I could be a mountain biker too.
I can't really give you any advice apart from just ride with your friends. It's your friends. It's not riding on your own, it's the social bit. Like when we still do loads of dig days, that's like a really good intro to that community that you might then be brave enough to cycle with. Yeah, like in the past I'd go to a bike event and I'd go to do the race. And maybe the night before the race you'd have a little chat, have a drink. But like when you go to a Sis in the Wild event, you're going, and it doesn't even matter if you go and you don't take your bike, you're gonna learn from like the best. You're gonna find out how to bike your bike, and your bike's the best way, or what kit's good at the moment, where's cool to go in the UK, like where's a good route that you can go on that's not gonna like kill you, or a route that's really adventurous. And yeah, it's like this really cool place where you can just go and find out like lots of information, but you don't feel too silly to ask, like you don't feel silly asking like really basic questions. It's just a really inviting, warm place to learn, yeah, about cycling.
When I got into riding, like I met a few women to ride with, but then also like I met loads of guys that took me into the Peak District and showed me these amazing routes, and I never felt like different from them being a woman. They were just taking me along for the ride. So like I spent loads of time riding with just men, and they would be, I'd say, allies of women, 100%, but then I just get more of a buzz riding with women. Setting a time for a ride like early in the morning so that you can just go in and have fun for a couple of hours and then go home and then spend the rest of the day with your family, that's really important. And like even now, like I go on a ride, and if there's a woman that's just going cycling, I'm like, come with me. Do not apologise for anything. As long as you like have a good time, like don't worry about being at the back because I'm going to be there with you. I just want them to feel happy and like safe and stoked in that experience with me. But that's really important to me, to like share that love and share that this is a good place to be in and everyone around you is like buzzing too. I got pregnant and my favourite little riding buddy, Atlas, came along. When I had Atlas and I became a mum, it was really hard. But now we, as a family, just have the best experiences. When we're together as a family, we're probably all our happiest. We have so much fun incorporating him into what we did before. It's just such a bonus with him. Yeah, it's sick.
These are just my bikes here. Aiken's bike's going to go there on the hook. So you've just got one now. Just before I got pregnant, I actually dared to go off-roading and actually like went off-roading with Aiken, and then I got pregnant, and now I'm like, I'm not doing that. It's insane. It's incredibly dangerous. I'm a mother, you know. But I did feel really cool, like a really cool person. Right.
There's nothing, we've got everything we need and nothing matters, and I just love that. It's just like the ultimate switch off. And when I've done a trip with him, like my cup of happiness is so full, and I just feel like just had that one-to-one time with him that you know, in day-to-day life, I'm always feeling this like, I hate saying it, but it's like mum guilt, and you know, I'm working too much, I'm not working enough, I'm not spending enough time with him, I'm dropping him off at playgroup and dropping off with relatives, I'm just not like giving him all of me. But when we're out on our bike, everything it's just us and nothing else matters. Like it's just about us, and there's no other, like you're both seeing the same thing, you're both moving the same way, and when you pitch up your tent at night and you're sat there, yeah, it's just that, like there's just no distractions, it's just great. So when I got pregnant, I couldn't find anything about pregnancy and riding There was just nothing out there for me, and I didn't know how to navigate the partnership I had with certain brands and my sponsors. Not everyone, but a lot of people will tell you that life stops. Any relationships you have with bright brands or sponsors will fizzle out because they won't see you as like any worth anymore.
Yeah, we got that bit of work. And then go down that one, stop halfway, step to the corner, just practice like not the exit out.
Some brands and partnerships that I had, they weren't interested, and that was quite shocking, and also played into that fear that I had that things would change dramatically. You know, when you get that nod that somebody doesn't want to work with anymore, and literally written out in front of you that it was due to your pending arrival, is what somebody said to me. And that being a man that's telling you that's what they think is best for you, like, that's quite shocking. Yeah, I felt like really unsupported and sort of lost in that area of my life. I didn't want to keep riding bikes and being a mom separate. I wanted to bring the two together. So like naturally, and because I was anxious, I was drawn back to women-led spaces. It was in those spaces I started seeing these other amazing mums juggling this new mental load that I had as well. It's like mother load and making it work, and I was able to get advice from them. It was really cool because then I would be invited to spaces to then talk about this like first bikepacking trip with Atlas and how I did it. Becoming a mum and then getting back into it was a load of adapting, but it was such an amazing space to do it in because everyone was so supportive. I think there's definitely a barrier to other women that are pregnant that want to continue cycling because there's nothing out there to say whether it's okay or not. Just that very beginning of, is it okay or not to cycle when you're pregnant? That information, it just isn't there, and that's a massive barrier. I mean, maybe we need more women in positions of authority in the cycling industry to make meaningful changes there. But since I've been in the community now 8 years, in the past 3 years, definitely there's been a significant change. There's like a place for everything that I did before Atlas and before being a mum, but it just comes in little snippets now. The opportunities now as a mum and riding bikes with Atlas means that I've been able to, do some really cool trips, shout about some accessible routes, and storytell a lot. There's so much positive, and it's only going to get better.